What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar, and we're going to be breaking down the futures contract once again, like always and forever. We're going to be starting it off looking at the monthly time frame. We're going to look at the weekly time frame, and then we're going to look at the daily time frame. Okay, as there has been a change in the daily. Finally, there has been a change in the daily. This market has been in a continuous grind up, and for like the past 3 days, I've been just kind of waiting for this market to kind of roll over and put ourselves back into a balance, and that's exactly what happened on the daily. But first, we need to talk about what has happened in the larger pictures. So as far as our monthly time frame, we still continue to one time frame down. That does not stop until we take out right there where it says stop the one time framing down, 23.25. We have to take out that level in order for us to take out or to stop the one time framing down. Other than that, we are still one time framing down firmly for the past 4 months. We came out of balance officially back in September and continued to push down lower in October. So far, a little bit of a recovery in the month of November. Okay, we still have several weeks to trade, so we can easily come back into a balance on the monthly, but right now we have a little bit of a stall right here. And not only is this a monthly high that we need to stop the one time framing down on the monthly, it is a weekly balance high. Okay, this is a weekly balance high, so not only do we need to get above that monthly high, it is also a weekly high and a weekly balance high. So in order for us to do anything, we need to come out of balance on the weekly. Okay, so weekly is in a balance. So far, we've gotten near a balance high, near a monthly high, and have backed off finally. We've been struggling up here for a minute. Basically, in my no trade zone, which is anywhere from 400 or 4,402 to 4,410, has basically been my no trade zone. I didn't like as far as longs. I did not want it, basically anywhere between 4,400 and 4,423.25. I didn't want to get long in this market just because I know that this is a balance high and that this is an area that has a lot of confluence here, a lot of issues, a lot of resistance, right? So far we've gotten near a balance high and we have officially backed off a little bit. Okay, so in order for us to stop the one time framing down in the monthly, we got to come out of balance in the weekly to the upside. And we are struggling. So far, let me show you what the daily looks like within this weekly balance. Okay, you can see the daily after gapping up several times in a row. We've gotten near that weekly balance high, and now we've started to roll over a little bit. Okay, we are back below the 50-day moving average. And guess what? We've put ourselves back into a daily balance. Okay. After breaking out of the daily balance here, back in October, late October, right? We broke out of this 3 or 4 day balance from 42.05. We shot straight up, moved through these indices like nothing. And now we are finding some type of acceptance back inside this previous balance range on the daily, right? Finding some type of acceptance, and guess what? We are creating another type of balance area right inside this zone. So let's go ahead and update this this balance now that it is official balance. Also, an outside day down is what we close with. We close with an outside day down. We took out yesterday's high, which was 44.0775. Today we took it out by 2 points. 44.0950 is today's high. 44.0950 is today's high, which is now our daily balance high. Okay, so now the daily has come back into a balance. Our balance low is now today's low of 43.5775. 43.5775 daily balance low. All right, so now we are chopping inside of this range. And then if we look at what our 30-minute time frame looks like inside of that, it looks like that, right? Looks like a whole lot of choppiness up and down, up and down. So far, we put ourselves back into a balance on the daily now. Okay, so we've gotten near that balance high on the weekly, got near their balance high. Now we're in a daily balance, and that balance is just in that same range. So basically from 44.10 to 42 or 44.23.25, you do not want to be long in this area, right? If I can draw here, you don't want to be long in that area, right? That is a no-go zone, right? Big no-no. Do not want to be there taking long positions, okay? So likelihood of us coming back and filling at least one or two of these gaps back on the downside seems okay at the moment. Today's volume was not massive on the downside. Let me fix this real quick. What did we do? We did just above average volume on the downside here. We do close with an outside day down, so it'll be interesting to see if we get into this gap. Today we had an opportunity to get into it really good, and we just missed getting into it. We got into it about 3 ticks. Okay, so daily back to balance, weekly's in a balance, in the monthly is still one time framing down. So is this a scenario where we just consolidate for a little bit on the daily, maybe pull back in just a hair, come back near not necessarily near our weekly balance low, but maybe come back near the 20 and the 200-day moving average, as that 200-day is hovering right inside of that where that gap gets filled, or not gets filled, but starts right around that what is that, 43.58.25 level. So basically 43.50 on the downside. Do we come down to that level and test it, and then rotate back up on the daily time frame to eventually take the weekly to one time framing up, and then kind of shake out the week longs up here, gather some more troops, and then rotate back higher is kind of what we are looking for. We're looking for a series of higher highs and higher lows to start to begin, right? Now, keep in mind, in the bigger picture, we have been experiencing lower highs and lower lows, right? Technically, this high here is still lower than this one. So the big level is 42.23, okay, on the upside. 42.50 or 43.50 on the downside. So 44.23 on the upside, 43.50 on the downside. Those are the two levels that I'm going to be keeping a large eye on. Now let's go ahead and look at the 30-minute time frame today. I got involved just a hair. Didn't really do a whole lot. I actually took a short at 44.04 today, and boy, should I have held it. I actually took it in this time frame here when we pushed up. Was at A, B, C, D, E. In E period when we pushed up, I got short against the day's high and against the opening, as I thought we had a good opportunity at least coming back down to where we were trading around 93.50. Okay, so I got short there, and then I took a long against the gap down here. Those are the only two trades I took today. Chipped away at the loss that I had yesterday, that $1,300 loss. Today I made back 300 of it. So just chipping away, very small amount. I guess technically I made 292. So, just kind of chipping away at that loss, and we're just going to keep on chipping until, we can get it back. So let's review what happened today. Today could be a textbook look above and fell. Okay. Basically, we looked above the previous day's high and rolled over. And not only did we roll over, we rolled over rather aggressively, putting the daily back into a balance, and then taking out 1, 2, 3, 4 daily lows in a row, and then slightly getting into that gap here. You can see where we slightly got below that by about 3 ticks is what we did there. So I said in yesterday's video that, if it could look almost exactly like what we did on Wednesday, right? I said that we could potentially take out the previous day's high, and if we don't get anything for it, we'd rotate back into that wide point of control like we did on Wednesday, right? Tuesday had a wide point of control right around that 95.50 level. Wednesday, we popped above it, didn't get much extension, and that's something that's been very key to me here recently, is the lack of extension above a previous day's high, and value kind of going unchanged or slightly higher, but not by much. That's all more advanced technical analysis. But the lack of extension there, and then we came back in on Wednesday, back into Tuesday's range, and then came into that 95.50 level and traded there. Even created a Y point of control 2 points lower at 93.50. So same scenario today. We took out the previous day's high, right? We took out Wednesday's high today, came back into the day's range. And once we did and found acceptance back into the day's range, your downside target was 93.50. I described that scenario and gave it to you on a platter yesterday. I also said, if we got above and found acceptance, we'd go and test 42.23.25. Well, we didn't find much acceptance up there as we opened and pretty much just drove straight down, right? We opened 92 or 40, what was it? 44.09 flat, pushed up 2 ticks and then came in pretty good. So look above and fell, resulting in an outside day down and a double distribution day. Okay, we go out with, what was it? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I guess you could use I as an afternoon rally high. But we do go out with a double distribution day. And putting the daily back into a balance. So we'll go ahead and give you guys these destinations real quick. Let's go ahead and mark them. 57.75 is the day's low. And then we'll go over some scenarios for what we can look for going forward in tomorrow's trading session. So we have today's low. Let's go ahead and move this up. 09. Oh, I had the date wrong anyway. 09.50. That's the high of day. Low of day. 43.57.75. Then we have single prints that start here at 74.75. Single prints. So this is the upper portion of the lower distribution. We'll signify that by that. And then we have where the single prints get filled at 75.75. Single prints get filled here. Boom. That is the lower portion of the upper distribution, right? So you're going to treat tomorrow as 2 separate days. This area up here that I'm highlighting is the upper distribution. You would treat that as 1 day, right? This little gap acts as separates these 2 distributions, right? This is the lower distribution. So if you open up in the upper distribution tomorrow, right, buyers want to see us stay above 75.75. If you open up above the upper distribution and then rotate, take out today's high at 44.0950 and get the monthly high and weekly balance high at 44.23.25, where the gap starts and gets filled at 44.46. Now, if we open up in the lower distribution tomorrow and can't get acceptance, or if we tip our toe into the upper distribution, right? If we dip our toe in the upper distribution, I'm actually going to label I's high here as a afternoon rally high. English, Chris, English. Afternoon rally high. If we can't get above, if we dip our toe into the upper distribution and cannot get above this 90.75 level tomorrow, then we'll look to rotate back over, take out 57.75, get into this gap, and come down and fill it where it fills at 43.37.75, and then attempt to find our acceptance within that upper distribution back from the second, right? That was a triple distribution day, right? If you want to know what those look like, that's one distribution, that's 2 distributions, and that is 3 distributions, all signified by single prints, right? So you have distribution, single print, distribution, single print, distribution, gap up, right? So we have a pretty strong trend day to pull back into, where shorts can cover. But if we get below today's low, you will most likely go and fill that gap. It is a large gap and it won't be easy to fill right away. But if we do even just, half of today's range, let's say, use halfback as a reference. If we even take out the low and use just half of the day's range, we're getting into that upper distribution, right? So we'll look for that tomorrow. But basically, all you did today was sell, right? Especially when you took out the initial balance low and got below C's low. You knew the target on the downside was the previous day's low down here at 75, because there was nothing holding this market up, right? There was no single print. All you had was the daily lows. And then you knew that, if there was some good push, you go and target these areas. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all had a wonderful day. If you guys do not mind, please leave a like down below. Thanks for subscribing, and subscribe if you're new. I'm trying to learn. Hopefully you're learning with me and making some money. We'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.